Hello and welcome to LaRosa Reads. I'm Denise LaRosa and today I am thrilled to share with all of you my top 5 favorite reads of the second quarter of 2023. Let's talk books. So here we are in the second quarter of 2023. I feel like it was just yesterday that I was sharing my goals and January TBR, and it's July, so I need to share with you guys my top 5 favorite reads of the quarter. Coming in at number 5 is Love Radio by Ebony Liddell. This book is in the YA category. It is a romance that definitely exceeded my expectations. Our two main characters, Prince and Danny, are both high schoolers with very different interests, but yet that is the joy of what brings them together. They have different personalities, different upbringings, and yet and still they fit. They make sense. Prince has had a crush on Danny for quite some time, and it was unbeknownst to Danny until one fateful day whenever they run into each other at the local library. From there, we are taken on a journey of these two getting to know each other, while at the same time, Danny is struggling to overcome an obstacle that she has held close to her heart and kept a secret from everyone near and dear to her. And Prince is the one that kind of helps her to realize that it's better to share those deeper thoughts, emotions, experiences in order to overcome them. I absolutely loved Love Radio. And then we have What the Fireflies Knew by Kai Harris. This book is my 4th favorite read of the quarter, and it was quite the surprise. I was blown away. I became deeply emotionally connected to the characters. Our main character, the protagonist, KB, is a 10, soon to be 11-year-old who has experienced trauma, and her mother has decided to take KB and her older sister, Nia, to Granddaddy's house to live in the summer. Granddaddy lives in Lansing, Michigan. The girls and their mom are from Detroit. So this country living is hopefully going to give the girls a slower pace, a reset, while their mother resets on her own. And it is just, wow, I don't even know where to begin. The characters at first were kind of struggling, which had me as a reader struggling to connect with them. Yet it's in that struggle that I became appreciative of each character as they began to open up more and more to each other and within themselves. It really helped me to appreciate who they are and who they were becoming. I feel like Kai Harris did an excellent job of having us experience these traumas and circumstances through a young girl's eyes. You really got to feel for what this young girl was experiencing from her perspective versus an adult's perspective. And I think that's important for us as adults to read more about characters, young characters experiencing life. I think it helps us to become better caregivers, more empathetic and attentive. So kudos to Kai Harris. I loved What the Fireflies Knew. And who could forget The Street by Ann Petrie. This classic novel is the first novel by a Black woman to sell over 1 million copies. Yet, do we hear about this novel? Do we hear about Ann Petrie as much as we do the Toni Morrisons of the world? Not so much. But let me tell you something. This book left a lasting impression on your girl and her friends who read it with her. Ludi Johnson is a Black single mother who has a young boy by the name of Bub. And she is struggling, y'all. She is struggling internally and financially and emotionally. She wants to give Bub the best life that she can. And that is hard for her as a Black woman living in Harlem. She started off in this book being married to Bub's father. Long story short, because you need to read the book, she becomes a single mother. She is living with her father, and that is not a healthy environment for her and Bub to live in because her father is a bit on the wild side. So she's like, listen, I need to step out into my own, find a place for Bub and I to make our own and find our way as a duo. Oh, it's thundering. Okay. Ooh, that's creepy because this book is like, there's some creepy creepertons in this book. Like the super of this home, or this apartment complex that Ludi and her son Bub end up moving into is super creepy. Like the way Aunt Petrie writes about him, you feel like you need to look over your shoulder. Like, is the soup like in my home? Is the soup at the coffee shop? Wherever you're reading, you're just kind of looking like, is he going to appear? And, that's neither here nor there. The point is, this book is so beautifully written in the most simplistic ways, yet you feel completely immersed in the story. And you feel like you're there. Like all of your senses are awakened. So kudos to the street. Kudos to Aunt Petrie. It is my number 3 favorite read of the second quarter. Coming in at number 2 is The Hate You Give. Oh my goodness, this novel by Angie Thomas just captivated me, drew me in, and I don't think I'll ever be the same. This is one of those transformative reads that will never, ever, ever leave me. This book was written in recent times, I believe 2016 or 2017. The point is, it is an instant classic. We have a young woman, Star, our protagonist, lives in the inner city while also attending an elite private school. This leads her to be code switching constantly, living a life of double consciousness where she feels like she cannot truly be herself in her neighborhood, nor does she feel like she can be herself at school. There is a pivotal moment in her life, a life-altering moment that forever changes the way she sees herself, the way she sees those around her, and the way she sees society at large. You get action from the very beginning. I mean, this book, Angie Thomas does not wait for the big moment. And I'm finding that I love books that lead with the big moment, and then you're finding yourself either going back in time to figure out what got us to this big moment, or having that big moment and then seeing how that big moment impacts the lives of the characters. So I absolutely enjoyed the movie adaptation as well. I find that this book is one that is for the ages, that our students are going to be reading for years and years to come. I'm so grateful that I read The Hate You Give. Yay! And last, but most definitely not least, we have my numero uno, number 1 favorite read of the second quarter of 2023. And it is a classic, y'all, by the legendary James Baldwin, and it is titled If Beale Street Could Talk. Whew. This book had me clutching the pearls from the very first sentence all the way to the end. I watched the movie adaptation and I just felt like I couldn't get enough. I wanted more. I wanted more pages. I wanted more scenes in the film. I have never read a novel that explores romance, a romantic relationship, in the way that this novel did. Oh my lordy, it's so raw, authentic, real, true love, not the superficial love that's like surface level and then gets deeper. It is deep from day one, and these two characters are in it for the long haul. They are in it to win it. It makes me think of the song Solid as a Rock. I just feel like this book has me viewing love in a way that I never had before. Our two lovers, Tish and Fawny, have been childhood friends, and there's a special moment where that friendship changes, and they didn't see it coming. Yet it's so tender, it's so sweet, it's so beautiful. And then not long after that, they are faced with a major challenge that puts their love to the test. I ain't saying anymore, because you must read this if you haven't already, and then you need to let your girl know what you think. So there you have it, my friends, my top 5 favorite reads of the second quarter of 2023. What are your favorite reads of the second quarter? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, find out what my favorite read of the first quarter was by checking out this video. And until we meet again, happy reading. Bye!